What is going on? Welcome to episode 90. Fitz was supposed to do the intro there, but
I didn't know that was our
he's,
intro.
He's white chalking it. I don't know. He's whiteboard chalking right now, but that's all right. Hey, we got a full episode. We got Olympics, college hoops, NFL recap, little off-season moves, and I guess we can talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, but I'm still a little upset. But we'll get to it. And a little golf. Fitz has a really good little golf story for us. I'm sure Matt enjoys it, and it's the Phoenix Open. So why don't we start there? I feel like golf is at its peak in Phoenix here. Fitz, you want to take it away?
Yeah, well, it's been popping off on all social media. It's basically the 16th hole-in-one. Guy just nails an ace, and the way it's set up is they've actually got like bleachers set up, and I guess I think they allow drinking at golfing events, but it was just a little bit excessive. But basically, knocks in the ace, and then everyone just makes it rain beer cans, and it was just it was just crazy. And again, it's just going off on all social media. I was just curious to hear from you guys, especially Devin. I feel like he's kind of our golf correspondent, but like, is this good for the game of golf, or is this is it a little excessive? I almost felt like it was like watching the fans in Happy Gilmore, like when Happy starts like playing and you start getting those wild fans, and it kind of like changes golf. And I know we've even talked on here how MLB is just dying because the game's no fun. So like, was this good? Was this a good thing for golf? Was it just like, do we not like it, or is it just kind of like, whatever, just don't bring it to the Masters? Like, where are we on this?
I think it's good for golf. I think golf's always been a little bit misunderstood, and it's mostly because of you got country club vibes. So I think it's good for the game. It kind of opens up a different aspect that a lot of people don't get to see from golf, where there is a different breed. Like, you can have your Augusta where it's very prim and proper, and then you've got. I mean, this represents the municipals, man. This is where like you're paying $20 and going and getting trashed and driving your golf cart into the sand trap. Like, golf is encompassing. They just don't show it enough. Like, the only thing most people get to see is this quiet, prim and proper. Oh, look, he's gonna put it in right now. Here it is. Oh my God, he made it. But that's just a whole different ball game. Do I think they should trash the course? No, but that's what you get. Like, that is what that tournament like breeds off of. That's how it stays basically sold out. The Wasted Management Open, or whatever it's called. I like it. I think it's great for the game. Again, I mean, any publicity where it looks like people are having a good time is going to be positive for the game.
Yeah, I feel like it brings like a new element to the game. It brings new fans to it because, yeah, you're right. It's kind of like golf has this stuffy mentality of like, golf clap. We have the golf clap for it, and I freaking love it. Like, I wish I was in Phoenix right now. I wish I was throwing my 12 ounce out there, 16 ounce, where they throw, and try to deck somebody. That was awesome. I love it.
And it's one of the most unique holes in golf, the 16th. I mean, there's bleachers like all around it. Like, there's nothing else like it. You have to like walk into this almost stadium vibe, and like people are going insane. It is on my bucket list. I would love to do that.
100th episode. That's where we're going.
I don't care what course or what hole you're on. If someone gets a dang hole-in-one, you just lose it. All right, I'm for it. I'm for it at the Masters. I'm for it wherever it wants to be. You got to make it its own thing. Like I equate it to like Detroit hockey, right? When they get a hat trick, they throw a bunch of octopuses on the ice, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" And it sparks this intrigue of like, why the hell are people throwing squids on the ice? You see a green full of beer cans, you're like, "Oh, there we go. Someone just made history right here." Like, I'm for it. In fact, I think they should incorporate this into MLB. Every home run, beer. field
Oh
every
my
time.
God.
Walk off. That should be if it's a walk off beer.
Anything to spice it up, I'm cool with. But I like it.
Was it?
Yeah, that's a good analogy with the octopus too. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it in the 80s where I think like the White Sox maybe was like bring your disco records and we'll have a burning party, and people just started chucking them on the field during the game and had a fucking riot.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I just had that flashback. I could just see like, Aaron Judge just hits a walk-off home run. There's a fucking riot in the Yankee Stadium.
Everybody get in the middle and brawl.
That's how we do in the Bronx. Matt, any thoughts? I know you're a big golf guy.
Oh, superb! It's amazing. Like, it's actually great. Like, honestly, I absolutely love it. Just to see people just pure jubilation. We have a thing over here when like there's like a last minute winner and like the stand goes crazy. We call it limbs because you just can't control your body. You can't control your limbs. You're just jumping around, throwing stuff, literally like that. And it was funny to see. I was like, this is fun. This is cool. This is what golf needs. Like, rather than just like, I always find it a bit disappointing in the Masters where someone makes a great shot and they're like, oh, that was nice. And I'm like, come on, just see what he did. That's unbelievable. Go crazy for it. Yeah, I'm glad that golf is finally catching up.
Absolutely. Every time like Devin and Matt have said, just lose it, I have that Little John song. I can't remember, but it goes like, let's fucking lose it. That's just in a replay in my head. And now I'm thinking that
Get out of your mind.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking like the golf course just blares that every time someone gets a hole in one. Well, all right, moving from golf, let's talk about a little Olympics. Claudia's been really dialed in on the Olympics, and I've been really enjoying it too. But it started off with snowboard in the half pipe. Did you guys get a chance to watch that? Just some amazing tricks being out there. Let's start with obviously the legend, Shaun White. Deuces pour one up for him. Last chance in the Olympics, last competition he plans on doing. Goes out with the bang, finishes fourth, I believe. But he falls on his final run. He had a chance to podium and unfortunately ate it on his last run. But I hate to see him go out that way. But, man, what a career. I think 3 golds and 2 fourth places. Just one hell of a career for him.
Yeah, that speech, I mean, afterward, finished fourth. And he's like, yeah, just didn't quite have it. He's talking about he felt his knee. It's just he's trying to land this trick and just didn't have it. But he's just so emotional. And I think in any sport, I think you could put Shaun in the category of he gave a lot to snowboarding. There's almost a phrase like sometimes they say like, golf gave more to him than he gave to golf or something. I think you could say like Shaun White, like he gave as much to snowboarding as snowboarding gave to him.
100%.
And I think in that speech, it was just awesome just to see how much it meant to him. And even, finishing fourth, that's heartbreaking. And at the same time, just, that he can look back on his career and what he's been able to accomplish. It's just really cool.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I think he inspired all this generation of riders now. And you tip your hat to him because he is the GOAT of it. Slay, I know you're a big snowboarder. Anything to add to it?
No. I mean, I think it's like one of those beautiful things in sports where it's like he's basically passing along the torch to these kids that grew up watching him. Because I mean, most of those kids, he's like an anomaly. Like most people don't get to ride for that long at that level. So a lot of these like 18-year-old, 20-year-old kids getting to shred with him and end up beating him out. It's pretty cool. It's just like a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Sad moment.
Hey, absolutely. Let's talk about passing the torch. 2 Japanese brothers stole the show, the Hirano brothers. I mean, just absolutely insane. Let's start with the younger brother. He goes off the half pipe. That's 24 feet off the pipe. And that's like the pipe's 20 feet. So he's 44 feet off the ground here. Insane air. Does this all 3 runs. He crashes on his last 2 runs. Thankfully, not from that height. But his first run was the best run at 76.9. Good enough to get, I think, top 6 or top 7, but insane height. if he learns to put runs together, this dude is going to run away with this competition. Like, it was amazing. And his brother on the upside gets gold, hits the first triple corkscrew we've ever seen in competition. Just an amazing trick. Not once, not twice, but 3 corkscrews in midair. Like, it is impressive and what these guys are able to lay down. I don't know, Japan was big into snowboarding, but these two put it on the map. It was awesome to watch.
What's funny, like talking about Shaun White, was that used to be Shaun White. Like, he was the guy who was going up higher than everybody. And now, I mean, obviously, you know, he's older, but it did feel like there were more people that were kind of able to do that than, you know, in previous Olympic years. But yeah, that was one for sure. It was just like, whoa. It was like, who is this guy? So
exactly. Just earth shattering. I'm excited to see what snowboarding halfpipe goes from now, because like a lot of guys laying down similar runs, and then these two come out and just blow it out of the water.
Must have just like, how is that physically possible? Like I just remember watching that. Like, how do you get that much air off that? It's crazy.
It's amazing. Boys, any other thoughts with these two? I mean, I think the Hirano brothers are here to stay in X Games and Olympic history.
No, insane. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, so U.S. fails to podium there. Matt, I don't know what Great Britain's doing, but you guys got to learn how to snowboard. Hell, even New Zealand was out there shredding some gnar.
This is the worst Winter Olympics Great Britain has ever had. Genuinely, like, it's quite. We were supposed to get 7 medals, we haven't got any at the moment. So I'm just cutting my allegiance and I'm trying to support Canada. But I'm watching a bit of curling, and shout out to fellow namesake Matt Hamilton, the American curler. Have you seen this guy's hair and mustache? You will love him, Parker. He's
luscious.
He's unbelievable.
I swear, I know it's a meme out there. It's been out there for years, but the curling team is just a bunch of dads who wanted to get away from their family for a weekend and somehow ended up in the Olympics. Like, total, just all bros just hanging out. Like, how the fuck are we here? But we're winning gold, baby. I love it.
I love the picture of him like doing the curling pose where he's just like in a full lunge, and like it's like, you may not like it, but this is what peak performance is.
On
awesome.
the women's side, we got to talk about Miss Chloe Kim brings home the gold. And much like Shaun White in the beginning of his career, she is blowing competitors out of the water. She's like 8 feet higher on air than any of these other women, doing out tricks that we've never seen women even attempt in competition, and she's nailing it. Chloe Kim, you know, she's 21. That's another one that we look back on, hopefully in 2 or 3 Olympics here, and say, man, that was a goat of a career she had too, because I think she can run gold for a long time. Back-to-back golds for her. Yeah, just impressive. Impressive on snowboard. Let's go to controversial here on the Olympics. Figure skater, Russian. I know I'm going to mess up her name. I've seen like 5 different reports mess it up. But Camilla Valieva, I don't know. That's somewhat close to me. 15-year-old skater from Russia tests positive for a enhancing drug. It's supposed to be for anxiety and heart complications, but some people use it for endurance. I don't know. It's a 15-year-old. You read to it what you are. But she was originally saying, hey, you're not going to compete. And then they overturned and said, all right, we're going to let you compete, but we'll do a full investigation a little bit later on. And she's supposed to be one of the best in the world here at what she does. Tim, you're kind of the doctor on the show. Any thoughts on that one?
Well, I do wonder, first of all, not a doctor. I do wonder, I need to look at the actual drug in question, but I'm for it. I mean, you never know. I mean, I think media tries to do almost like a too invasive profile on people. And, you know, we don't know people's medical history. And yeah, she's an elite athlete. And yeah, has this drug been proven to possibly increase endurance in elite athletes? Maybe. But like, you know, I feel like people now, it's more accepting to show, I guess, your vulnerability side, especially with, you know, any mental illness like anxiety. And, you know, being up on the stage, I'm sure she has plenty of anxiety. And so I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm glad they let her compete. I'm glad they're doing a full investigation, but I would kind of settle the waters there until we get some more information.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys, any other thoughts with that one?
Is
I
she
literally
on?
watched.
Oh,
Oh, God,
Go
Fitz.
well, I was gonna ask if is she in the? It's the ROC, right? This is the
Yeah.
Russian Olympic. Yeah, I'd say that's the worst look about it. Is they already, Russia already got sanctioned or got in trouble for this. So it's like, what do you do now? Like, double down on, now just ROC is not even allowed. Like, you guys aren't even allowed in since you're just continue to break the rules.
That's a good point. Slate, you were going to jump in there a little bit.
I just looked up what the drug was, and it's trimetazidine. I'm probably not saying that right, but I'm trying to figure out like what it actually does. Have you ever heard of that, Tim? It's supposed to be like treats angina and other heart-related conditions. That's very vague, but
Not particularly.
works by increasing blood flow to the heart and limiting rapid swings in blood pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, and I don't know if it's our business to know her medical conditions, but maybe
Yeah.
there's plenty of things that adolescents screw up with, congenital defects that may require that, but at the same time, you look at increasing heart rate and blood flow in an Olympic athlete.
Well, I think where it gets sketchy too is I think she blamed it on like she got her and her grandfather's medicines mixed up.
Oh,
So like it wasn't like it was hers.
oh, geez.
Yeah,
Like the ultimate Russian excuse, like, oh, my dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, me and my granddad share medicine every day, every morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we got our pill dispensers mixed up for
Yeah.
eating oatmeal that morning.
Wild. Well, there's been a lot of comparison with a U.S. Olympic track athlete, Sha'Carri Richardson. We talked about her this summer. She tested positive for marijuana. I know we talked in stints about it, and we just disagree with the Olympic Committee. She was not allowed to run. They said, no, sorry, you're not running. But now you got a 15-year-old from Russia, substance proven in her body. They're going to let her skate. So there's been a lot of like, is this fair? Obviously, we're not saying this, but the Olympics have been coming out. Are they racist? Is it, are they specifying just for a country? Who knows? But I mean, it does raise a lot of red flags. Like, all right, you got one girl who you give okay to, the other one you banned. So it's unfair.
Yeah, I mean that just opens up. Yeah, that's a really good thought. I do just wonder, I mean, as Tim, I liked your thought process, just like what these athletes, kind of what their medical, looking for the right word. I'm thinking of like HIPAA and all this, the privacy of someone's health and stuff. And just like, where do you make rules and guidelines for athletes across the board? And it just sounds like a hot mess. And this just, bringing up the, I can't remember her name, the track runner.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah. So bringing up Richardson, that just opens up another can of worms. Like, how are you going to manage this? Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, finalizing Olympics here, they got the medal count. Norway, really good at Winter Olympics, apparently. 26 medals as of right now. Obviously, medals are up for grabs for a night, but 12 gold, 7 silver, 7 bronze. Killing it. And the U.S. is sitting really in third in medal count, 7 golds, 6 silvers and 4 bronze, 17 total medal count. I don't know if we're catching Norway. Norway's real good.
What is even left?
I know we got hockey still up for grabs. We got some alpine ski. I think we got big air and snowboarding, maybe. I can't remember.
Ooh.
Curling?
Curling.
there's not a whole lot of medals left, and Olympics end up Sunday. They wrap up with the closing ceremony. So if we're gonna catch Norway, we got to do a lot of work. And if Britain wants their 7 medals, they got to do a lot of work between now and then.
No chance for that.
Well, that's it for Olympics. Before we move into Super Bowl and NFL talk, let's talk a little college hoops. Something we neglect on here, but we're gonna try to do better, especially now that NFL's over. We got a huge Saturday of action here. Number 12, Illinois traveling number 19, Michigan State. Number 11, Texas Tech traveling to number 20, Texas. Number 4, UK hosting number 25, Bama. And number 16, Tennessee going to number 23, Arkansas. Apparently, SEC is just real good in basketball all of a sudden. That's scary because I don't want to see them dominate 2 sports. Any game we're really looking forward to?
Well, I got tickets to USC women hosting University of Tennessee, the Lady Vols, on Sunday. Last I looked, Tennessee, they lost. They were number 4 in the country, but they dropped. They're like number 13 right now. But USC number 1. It's going to be an SEC showdown. So shout out to women's hoops. That might be, I actually might start watching. I'm going to go on a deep dive and watch the women's NCAA this year. I usually tune in for like Final Four and stuff, but getting into it. And it actually, hot take, it might be better than the men's. It might be actually better basketball than the men's.
That might be a hot take, but I'm here for it. And especially you start studying film now, Fitz. We'll make a killing in the women's NCAA. We'll just get all the bets.
All right, I'll do my research.
Any other thoughts on college hoops here? I just feel like being consistent at number 1 through 5, it's just been tough out there for the league. Like Zaga's number 1 right now, but I feel like any day they're going to lose. Just like any of these powerhouses, like they don't seem to be keeping that number 1 spot, or even 1 through 10, really.
Who's the real big prospect for Gonzaga? Is it still that Chet guy, Chet Holmgren?
Yeah, with the thick stash and the headband.
Oh, he's got a stash and a headband?
Yeah. That guy bangs. You go hard in the paint. All right. Well, let's move into NFL here. We're going to do better on our basketball talks, I promise.
Well, I did want to lift up. So Auburn getting knocked off by Arkansas was probably the big story. But Arkansas doesn't get a lot of credit. They weren't in the top 25, but they've been like in the tourney the past few years. I know they were the 3 seed pretty recently, like a 3 seed in the tourney. So, I mean, and they've produced some NBA guys as of late. So I was just curious why they were so low. And their record, they've lost 5 games this year. But again, the SEC is looking like it's pretty tough. I mean, it's like, LSU, Kentucky, Auburn. It's like there's some good schools in there, Florida. So, yeah, it was a little head scratching why they were so low. But that was just the classic basketball game of just a bunch of lead changes and back and forth. So that's just a team to keep your eye on. It is just to see where Arkansas, how they move up, that they could be a lot better. They could be a lot better by tourney time.
And that place was rocking when they beat Auburn. I think Coach Pittman, the Arkansas head coach, I think he was shirtless in the crowd after they got after the overset. Like, he was wild. I think they're rolling in basketball. And I would say it scares me that SEC is going to be good in 2 sports. Well,
he took a book, the page out of Bruce Pearl's book. Wasn't that his number? When he shirtless with like Cam Newton and company.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
He's just trying to rub it in. He's trying to flex on him. Like, I look better. I got a better beach ball, boy.
All right, let's talk about some football.
Man, this is going to be therapy for Hacky.
Yeah, I need this. It's been a long 48 hours for me. Well, Super Bowl came, Super Bowl went. Another year Cincinnati doesn't get the Super Bowl trophy in Lombardi. But shout out to the Rams. They did what it took, 23-20. They beat my Cincinnati Bengals, and damn, the Rams looked good at times. And I thought it was a good game. up until 2 minutes. We can talk about some controversy a little bit later, but pretty good. I was happy with the Super Bowl overall. I was just happy we were there, but I thought it was a pretty close game. What do you guys say?
Eli
yeah.
Apple.
I mean, dang, he was getting torched. Yeah, like you said, Parker, I think it was a great game. I think when you look at competitive games, if they're like within one possession, I think most of the game, I think that constitutes as a good game. Each possession, nothing was like until the very end. Of course, you're on the edge of your seat, and Parker, you may have been in the kitchen the whole time, but I thought it was just a good game, a good solid game. It wasn't like the best Super Bowl blows you out of the water, and it was tough coming off this postseason the hype was built up pretty high. I just thought it was a good game. That's really all you can ask for a game on that kind of pedestal.
For sure. Well, I got to talk about it. Obviously, Eli Apple gets exposed pretty handily.
Hey, he's not the only one. Jalen
No.
Ramsey got exposed bad.
And I was, as a Cincinnati fan, and I think we'll talk about Eli Apple first. He has gotten roasted on social media by fans, opposing teams, and also other NFL players. And no one has come to his defense because I think he deserves it. Like, he was talking mad shit in the playoffs to anybody and everybody. Then he gets scored on twice by Kupp. And yes, they put him on an island. Yes, not the best defensive strategy, but you talked all that smack and you can't back it up when the game's on the line. As a Cincinnati fan, I'm like, if it had to be anybody, I'm glad it's Apple that got roasted. Like, keep on smoking that pack of apples, baby.
Thing is, I don't think that's completely fair. I mean, I think that this game, I mean, there's a lot of great. I thought it was a great Super Bowl. If you just look at some of the storylines, I mean, both quarterbacks got hurt. That was a crazy thing that happened. Odell was a factor until he got hurt, and I don't know if it was an ACL or what it was, but that was a weird thing as well. But I think to put this on the cornerbacks of the Bengals, I just know, early on, the Bengals offense was trying to open things up, and they finally hit Jamar Chase on a deep ball, and they got inside the 10, and they couldn't score. They couldn't punch it in. So it was like a field goal. And then later, they started the second half. You couldn't have asked for a better start with the T. Higgins play, and then they get a pick. And then what happens? They go for it on fourth. They get the conversion, but they get down inside the red zone. They can't punch it in. So it's like, offense, you didn't get the job done. It's like twice you really should have gotten touchdowns and taken the pressure off your defense. I mean, the Bengals D held Stafford and the Rams to 23 points. I think they did their job. And to put this on Eli Apple, it's like, he's guarding the Triple Crown winner. He's guarding Cooper Kupp. Like, you knew it was going to come. So I just thought that was a little unfair. And also just, give credit that Stafford played perfect. He played nearly perfect,
Yeah.
And the Bengals still had a chance. Like, that's the crazy thing is I feel like Stafford played perfect and the Rams defense was giving up. Like, the Rams D, I was disappointed in. I was kind of disappointed in what they did, but they stepped up when they needed to.
Yeah, the whole second half, Joey B was on his back.
Yeah.
I mean, that defensive line did what they were supposed to. But no, you are right. But if you talk smack, you've got to be able to accept the consequences. And that's what, Eli Apple talked a lot of smack. And I'm glad he's getting some backlash. But no, I don't put the blame on him. I don't put the blame on the officials with the holding call or not getting the offsides call or the, false start.
The holding call on Wilson was bullshit.
It was.
That was the most egregious bullshit call I've ever seen.
And I get it. Yes, everybody saw the replay of T. Higgins grabbing Ramsey by the face mask and then scoring off of that. Okay. But your makeup call was on the goal line, flip it. T. Higgins trying to catch the ball on the goal line. He's getting tugged on one way, tackled the other way before the ball gets to him. You don't call that either. Tick for tat. We go back to even. But yeah, that one I was upset. But it is what it is. Like you said, Joey B had the game in his hands. He had a chance, but you get Aaron Donald trying to choke you down like Undertaker style, and just you did what you can. And I don't know why we wouldn't have Joe Mixon in the game, but there's a lot of what ifs I could say. But I was happy with the game overall.
Well, Hacky, I felt your pain because for me, that holding call was a flashback to Packers Bucks last year, NFC Championship. And this is my beef with the NFL. And like, when they get to this stage, it's like every game they refed in the regular season goes out the window. And they don't want to call stuff. But the issue is like, with Tampa and Green Bay, they let the defenders get so physical with the receivers that really it kind of screwed the Packers. Like we're trying to, Devontae's trying to get open and they're just grabbing them and they're not calling it. It's like, that's been a penalty for 17 games in the season and you're not calling it now. And then when the game's on the line, there's a hold. And then the refs are like obligated. They're like, well, we can't, now there's 20 seconds. So we can't have the game end on, an interference that we didn't call. And it's like, and it's clear and obvious and they have to call it, but it's like, based on how you called this game, you can't call that. Like based on how you called this game, that is not a flag. And that's what's irritating is because it's contradictory. It's like, everyone knows that's a flag, but you haven't called it. So like, what do you do? It's like, is it about consistency or is it about making the right call? And I think that's what's so frustrating. It's like, it's very unclear and it's actually inconsistent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Any other thoughts on the game?
I'd like to know what you're doing with your kitchen now, Parker. Now the Bengals have lost while you're in it. What are you gonna do with it? You gonna burn it down? You're gonna build a new one?
Yeah, I'm gonna rebuild it from scratch now.
Okay, nice one.
You just can't live in misery. And every time I make a pancake now, I'm gonna cry. So I've got to remake it.
I wanted to know what y'all thought of the halftime show.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about that. It lived up to my hype meter. I was happy.
Speaking of people that have been getting too much shit, 50 Cent got way too much shit for that the upside down thing. That was dope, man.
I mean, awesome surprise guest.
It really was. It really was. It was an awesome performance.
But I mean, he doesn't look like the same 50 from the music video, but you don't look like the same you did when you listened to the music video when it first came out. So don't give him that shit.
That's right.
I agree with you.
I was in fourth grade.
It was so crazy to see him. Like, it threw me off so much. I was like, wait a minute. That's 50. And he's hanging upside down. Like, I started laughing because I was like, he's going to pass out. How long has he been sitting there? Has he been hanging there this whole time while Snoop and Dre have been up top? And he's just like, his eyes roll back of his head. Like,
it definitely sounded like it at the beginning of the rap.
Yeah.
The beginning of the rap, it was like, dude, get down. It's okay. Like,
No, oh man, I've seen all the memes of like Spider-Man hanging upside down, like point of view of 50 Cent just sitting there waiting for him, or like him waiting for his now. No, not yet. Oh, man, okay, now.
I like the one where he's like on one of those inverted tables or whatever, and it's like 50 training for his halftime show, and he's just sitting there. Like, he's not moving. He's just sitting upside down.
oh, that's awesome.
But I was really happy with the halftime show. Obviously, you wish they had a couple more songs in there, but you only get 20 minutes for a halftime show, and you have 5 or 6 artists. You get 1 or 2 songs, and that's it. But I was pretty happy. Only thing that would put it over the top, Tupac Hologram for me. For California Love.
I did see something kind of fucked up. It was like, this would be a great time to let the world know that Tupac's still alive.
Oh my god.
That'd been wild.
That would have broke the internet. Jeez.
I think I would just quit life. I would just quit my job. I don't know. That'd blow my mind. All right. Tim, we got to crown you, man.
Oh, what for?
NFL
What's
playoff champion, my friend.
Oh, was that me? Whoa,
That's
that's
Go ahead and
crazy.
gloat.
Well, I will say, it's been an honor, boys. It's a heck of an off season. Not everyone can do it, and I guess this was just my year. Felt like Matty Stafford. All the odds were against me. You guys were against me the whole way, talking about, oh, he's always been on a sucky team. He's never done it. And look at us, me and Matt on top. So this one goes out to you, number 9, Matty Stafford. I appreciate you, man. That's all I got.
I hate you. Well, Tim, we're gonna make you you get to design
Oh,
the cup. That's
dang.
your prize, and then you get the prize. So,
wow.
we'll team up, and I already got the company lined up, so we just got to design it.
Wow, what an honor.
Yeah.
All right. We got to come up with a name for it, too. You know.
The Stafford Stein.
Ooh.
Stafford sign. All right,
Put that on the list.
we'll put that on in pencil right now. Stafford Stein. I do. We do need a name for it, but yeah, Tim, shout out to you. Well, one last NFL season. This could be for any sport, but we typically do it for the NFL. Stud to spud, spud to stud. I'm gonna go first, and it's happened in one single game, where a unit went from stud to spud. Cincinnati O-line. 6 sacks in the second half. Can't have it. Won't have it. They were studs in the first half. I said, "Oh crap, we're gonna win this game." And then I said, "Nope, never mind." Joey B's down with another knee injury. So yeah, stud to spud. Bengals offensive line.
I'm gonna
Jalen
say.
Ramsey.
Oh, there you go.
Jalen Ramsey, 160 yards. Most yards he's ever given up, I think, in college or professional. So, stud to spud.
Tough.
I hate to do it to you, Hacky, but someone's got to say it. I'd say Tyler Boyd, stud to spud. He didn't have one drop the entire season. He had a drop on 3rd and 9 with 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, people could talk about Eli Apple, but offense had too many miscues.
Yeah, if he catches that, we chew off 2 more minutes of clock. Yeah,
maybe get a field goal, and the worst thing is Rams score. You got overtime. Yeah,
yeah, that's a good point.
Stud to spud. Cam Akers.
Matt.
Akers, Matt. I'm sorry, man. I can't really discredit Cam too much. I think the Bengals just really shut him down. And the whole year you hear the commentators, Cam Akers is just so explosive. Look at this guy. And then he gets the ball, and literally every time he touches the ball, the Bengals just stuff him. Couldn't scheme him open. They had to get Henderson involved a little bit there, but yeah, stud to spud, Cam, just not your game, buddy.
I saw a meme about Cam and Sean McVay, and it was just like, I'm about to call this run play for 0 yards. Over and over again.
Stud to spud, I guess it's quite harsh. Odell Beckham, I mean, he had an unbelievable game until he had a good first 2 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good game. I've enjoyed the memes of him, just like him against Baker Mayfield the Browns. It's quite funny. But yeah, feel sorry for him for getting the injury. But yeah, I thought he's a stud for what he did play.
Yeah, I needed him to get 5 more yards. He would have hit the over for us. He was right at 52. We had the over at 56.5. 5 yards. That's all we asked for. But now he's torn his ACL for the second time in 2 years.
Ouch.
He's going to be out probably until at least November. I know I'm no doctor like Tim here, but at least until November, I'd assume. And is that a career for Odell? Maybe is that
he was dancing in the locker room though. That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Yo, that's Jameis for you, man.
Yeah, he quoted Jameis exactly. So it was like, I don't know.
Bro, the guys just won a Super Bowl. I'm not surprised.
That's true. That is true.
I got to eat my words. I mean, I did with Josh Allen earlier. Odell, man, I gave him so much crap this year, and he got to the Rams, and after the first game with the Rams, he really became a big part of their offense. So I'll give it to him, and that's on me, man, because he really was lighting it up. And actually, after the first touchdown, I was like, is Cooper just going to kind of sit the back seat and is Odell going to really take the steering wheel here? But ACL, and it's tough, Parker, like you said. I think nowadays we take for granted how quick some of these athletes come back. Starting with the freak AP, but really, I mean, minimum 9 to 12 months to even get back to like an athletic, physique, let alone an NFL wide receiver. So I don't know. I hate it for him, but he's a Super Bowl champ. So like he put his body on the line, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I just feel bad for SoFi Field because they're about to get so many mentions on Odell Sr.'s Instagram that they're going to have to change that field, okay? But, all right, that was my bad joke of the day. Let's talk about NFL offseason needs for our teams. We're moving into the draft and offseason training or offseason signings of free agents. Obviously Devontae Adams is up for grabs. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Fitz. A lot of
We can
questions about
franchise
Rodgers.
tag him.
Yeah, that's true. Only jerk franchises do that, though. Just saying. All right.
True.
Who wants to start? Who has a good need for their team? Don't worry, I'll start. You'll never guess this. Offensive lineman. I don't want any draft projects. I want veterans that we can sign, seal, and deliver. We have a crap ton of cap space. We need to address this offensive line because if you look on film, Chase has Ramsey beat. Ramsey's fallen down, and Joe Burrow's getting slung in the dirt on the final play for the Bengals on offense. Offensive line, that's our biggest question mark for us. We got to sign O-lineman. The O-lineman patchwork we had this year, it can't happen. He got sacked, 70 times this season, tied for third most in league history, coming off a knee injury, and now he re-injured a knee or his other knee. It's not a surgery, but he's going to have to rehab on it. Offensive line for Cincinnati by far. And I don't want draft picks.
Man, I feel like that was exactly what I heard last year from you when we were going into the draft. And
I wanted a draft pick then. Now I don't.
Yeah. I got to go defensive line. I think a good, obviously a really good team, I think starts at the defensive and offensive line, but I haven't decided who I'm going with. I know there's some hype about Hutchinson, but I don't know. He kind of got shut up in the playoffs. So I think Thibodeau and I don't know, some edge rusher. I think we need someone explosive because, I mean, I know you guys have talked about it this season with TJ Watt. Like, he can really make a game or change the dynamic in a game. And, the Lions, we hadn't had a decent edge rusher and never. So let's get one. Let's start with the draft. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, on my paper for the Lions, I had just playmaker, whether it's offense or defense. Just get a playmaker that can change the tone of a game. And, yeah, I like that defensive line.
I would say ours is O-line and D-line. Basically, our O-line needs help altogether. And then I think Brandon Williams and Justin Ellis are free agents. Calais Campbell is getting old. So, we just – honestly, though, it's kind of tough because half our team was damn hurt this past season. So I don't even know what we need other than just depth.
Yeah, I thought yours would just literally be get healthy. Get healthy.
Yeah, you could start it there.
Wrap everybody
Maybe
up in bubble wrap.
One solidified starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just actually go hire an exterminator to kill the injury bug, and you're fine.
Yeah, no shit.
Matt, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's all going to get torn apart. So I don't know, who's going to get going. So I'm not really sure.
Well, I think Preston Smith could be gone for sure.
I like that.
But we're pretty deep at linebacker. I mean, Campbell was named All-Pro, so that was kind of a surprise at inside linebacker. We'll have Zadarius Smith and Rashad Gary back, but you just feel like I don't know. We are good. Even Chris Barnes has been pretty solid. So I don't know if we'll draft linebacker. It wouldn't hurt to draft edge rusher, but maybe like a later pick. Honestly, with Adams, I see us either franchise tagging him or finding a way to restructure his contract and maybe just put implications on like playoffs and stuff. But that's for this year. And I don't know. Again, franchise tag would mean it just gives us more time to try to figure it out. But we also do need receiver. I don't know if Amari Rogers is going to cut it from last year. Lazard's great, but he's not a number one guy. Valdez Scantling, we're talking about signing him again, but golly, he just drops every fourth ball, it feels like. I would honestly, Matt, I'd be curious what you think of this. What would you think of taking like a tight end?
You know
Like
what I was thinking?
an early pick on kind of an explosive tight end. I know there's probably not another Kyle Pitts out there, but could there be like just a big playmaker that we can just rely on and